Hello, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of All Killer Review Podcast tied to streaming services. I almost couldn't say that word, like Netflix, Amazon Prime, HBO Max, Disney Plus, etc., etc., etc. I'm your host, Greg Dietz, and with me always is my week, man.
Pretty good. Pretty good. And holy shit, I'm on camera. I'm on camera for a change. It's been a couple months since I've done this. But hey, it takes a lot to get put together enough to be presentable, and we record usually early on Wednesday mornings, early for Greg. Anything before the crack of noon is hard to get me motivated, so I'm usually not camera
I was
ready.
talking. I was talking to my mom about you not being on camera very often, and she goes, "Why is that?" And I said, it takes her time to get makeup on and to get camera ready." Her first response was, "Really taking that woman part to heart, huh?" It's like, Jesus Christ, mom.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if people are going to see me, I'm going to be presentable and put together, and that's just how,
yeah.
I don't. I haven't gotten to the stage where I just run to the fucking corner store for a pack of cigarettes and a pair of sweatpants, hoodie with no bra on, no makeup on, hair pulled back in a ponytail. I'm not there yet.
And it's on your time if it's seeing you. That's the other thing. We record this for the YouTube channel, which gets viewed very little, so it's really not that big of a deal.
No, and that's also why I've not made it priority, because audio is where our audience is. We would appreciate a larger YouTube audience, no doubt, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, my week's been pretty decent. Let's see. I had to go give blood at the local hospital, which is only a mile away, on Friday, because I had lab orders from my primary care physician and from my endocrinologist. Um, and I have an appointment with my endocrinologist tomorrow. So waiting Monday, all the lab results come trickling in on Friday, urine results come in on Monday, but the hormone results didn't come in. So I called the lab Tuesday morning and they said, "Oh, I forgot to do those." "Oh, okay. Well, do you have enough blood of my sample left, or do I need to come in and give some more vials?" "You'll have to come in and give some more vials." Well, yesterday was really busy and they couldn't get to me. And I wasn't going to sit there all fucking day. Well, this morning I was like, well, I'll go down first thing this morning. I'll get ready and go down as soon as I can. As soon as I can get motivated to get ready, go down this morning and sit and wait and wait and wait, because there were like 6 people registering in front of us. And it's just like one after the other. And it takes, a good 20 minutes to get one person registered. And I was like, oh my God, this is going to suck, because I'm going to be here all fucking day. Get in there and tell the receptionist, who remembered me from Friday. And she was like, oh yeah, I remember you being in here. Let me call the lab. And they called the lab. She's like, oh, I forgot. Yes. She said she called yesterday and talked to me about the orders. I've got them pulled up right here. Just send her on back and I'll stick her right fast. Get the sample and she can go. Don't even have to register. So it's like I had to wait, so long to get in there and say, walk on back to the lab, which is like 100 feet down the hall, and then around a corner, and then another 50 feet, and there it is. So it's just like, boom, sit down, pop a vein, give 2 vials of blood. I'm done. It took 3 minutes total from the time I walked in to the receptionist and the time I was back in the car. But I had to wait like an hour and a half, which that sucked. But the the blood has been given. My results will be processed before my endocrinologist visit tomorrow, which will be great. Looking forward to tonight. We haven't been able to play D&D since the first week of the year?
Yeah.
Or was it the week of Christmas, or was it the week of New Year's? Either way, that's how long it's been since we played. We've not played in like 4 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks.
I think it was just the week of New Year's, because
I think it was
this year.
Well, the first week that we didn't play, it was because I needed to familiarize myself with the second part of the campaign. We played through. It's a 2-part campaign. Actually, right here is the first part, Horde of the Dragon Queen, as you can see. And it took us from May or June to the week of Christmas to finish it up, or the week after Christmas to finish it.
Yeah, something like that.
Playing for about 3 hours a night every week. So it took a lot of sessions to finish it. Well, the second half of it is called Rise of Tiamat. We're getting ready to start it, but it's not presented as streamlined as this one is. So there's a lot of bouncing back and forth in the campaign for me personally, and a lot more prep work and legwork that I have to do. And I wasn't ready to do it in that first week. I was like, we'll have to wait until next week. And then the whole fiasco with the open gaming license and Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro saying, okay, we're going to do this, and you're just going to sit back and fucking take it. And I'm like, part of the community is like, no, we're not going to fucking take this. And, we've touched on the past 2 weeks in a row, just briefly, on the open gaming license. It's basically a license that has been in effect for 23 years, that is a perpetual license, royalty-free, that allows third-party publishers to publish content both for and compatible with Dungeons & Dragons. Wizards of the Coast doesn't take any of the money. They don't control any of the content, but there are clauses to protect them against, certain things. It's like, if you violate this agreement, it can be revoked, but they wanted more control. Mm-hmm. And they're saying, we're deauthorizing this. You're going to have to pay royalties, etc. It's a big mess. Then they walk that back, but they're still deauthorizing the original, which sucks, because a lot of content that I play, that I purchase, that I enjoy, content that I have in mind for us to play in the future, is under that license, and it's threatening to be revoked. Legally, I don't see how it can be revoked, but that's a court battle for another day. And there's a lot of videos out there covering this. D&D Shorts is one. The journalist Linda Codega for Gizmodo, are you familiar with them?
I'm familiar with Gizmodo.
Okay. Well, they're a
individual.
They're a they use they them pronouns. They're a journalist for Gizmodo that covers particularly tabletop role-playing games. They went on a channel called Roll for Combat and did an interview. They also interviewed Critical Role this past weekend. Matt Mercer and Marisha Ray, at least, of Critical Role. They interacted with me on Twitter last night, which was cool. But yeah,
They did?
Yeah. They broke the story about this whole open gaming license thing, and it's been ongoing now for about 3 weeks as of today or tomorrow. It's been a fucking mess. So part of the thing that I did, I was like, I'm not giving Wizards of the Coast any more money until this is resolved to a satisfactory degree. They've got to earn my trust and my dollars back. And one of the channels that I love on YouTube is the Dungeon Dudes, and Monty and Kelly have had an ongoing campaign. They're in their third iteration of it, their third playthrough of a world that they created together called Drakenheim. First, it was the Dungeons of Drakenheim, then it was Shadows of Drakenheim, and now they're playing through the third part called Fate of Drakenheim. They had a successful Kickstarter the year before last that made over $1.2 million. I backed it, went all in, got the stuff. Finally got the stuff in July or August of last year. And one of the things we've been talking about doing is playing that campaign after we finish up this Tyranny of Dragons campaign that we've been working on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in order to play it, we'd have to go through either Roll20 or Foundry virtual tabletops. That's the only virtual tabletops it was offered for, not D&D Beyond. So I was like, well, I'm going with Foundry. I'd already purchased a license for Foundry a couple months back in 2022 in anticipation of having to have it anyway for the Drakenheim campaign that we're going to run. And then the OGL news broke. Everybody's like, cancel your D&D Beyond subscriptions because that's the way to hurt Hasbro the most, because it's Hasbro that's doing this. Fun fact I found out, Hasbro, the parent company of Wizards of the Coast, only makes up 28% of Hasbro's overall revenue, but they're responsible for 75% of Hasbro's overall profit. They make more money from D&D than they do anything else.
Wait, what? I read that their biggest moneymaker is fucking Monopoly.
No. When it comes to their chunk of revenue that they get from Wizards of the Coast, and I should be including Magic the Gathering with this. So Wizards of the Coast, publishes D&D and Magic the Gathering. Wizards of the Coast is responsible for like 28% of Hasbro's overall revenue, but responsible for like 75% of their profit margin. Without Wizards of the Coast, Hasbro would be in the hole. So they're trying to monetize the digital future, trying to do away with virtual tabletops, trying to implement higher subscription fees, microtransactions for their VTT that they're been developing and this and that. And I was just like, no, I'm taking a fucking stand. So yeah, as a result, we've not gotten to play D&D for a few weeks while I've been trying to figure out Foundry virtual tabletop. And I've got it figured out enough to where we can finally start playing back tonight. And I'm fucking excited. And there's so many cool things you can do with it. And that I'm learning, and I would like to get them implemented before tonight, but if I can't, that's okay. Time will allow for that. But you can actually animate your tokens with weapon attacks and spell animations and blood splatters, and you got to see a sneak preview of it. It's just like moving through the map. When you get to a wall, you can't move through the wall stops you, and the lighting, how it adjusts for your line of sight and what you can actually see in your vision all around, which is really cool. So I'm really pumped about it. But yeah, that's essentially been my week in a nutshell. Just giving blood and pouring blood, sweat, and tears into learning Foundry so we can get back to playing. How was your week?
Stressful. My my boss is going on vacation this starting Saturday, and I'm gonna have to go into work every single day until he gets back, which is 10 days total.
How many? 10?
10.
Ew.
I don't have to work all day every single day, but like Friday through Saturday is, full days. Sorry, Friday, Saturday, Sunday's full days, but Monday through Thursday, it'll be half days. because the woman I'm working with, she's going to take the other half.
Gotcha.
So like
and
next Wednesday.
Of course, yours the morning half, and she's get the evening half, or did you luck out and get the evening half?
No, it's switching back and forth. So Monday and Wednesday, I'll go in at 8 a.m. and get off at 12, and then Tuesday and Thursday, I'll go in at noon to 5.
Okay.
And hers is the exact opposite on Monday through Thursday. So, yeah, next week when we go, because we record this on Wednesday for, to peel back the curtain for anybody who didn't know. So we'll talk about that, but we're going to have to record, like I'll try to get home and then we'll have to record ASAP because I know that I'll have to do some grocery shopping Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah. But, so roughly around 3:30 my time. Next Wednesday we'll have to record, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, so, but other than that, we figured that out. One of the stresses was like I have to take Uber, there and home on my days, so it's like $60 a week, give or take. And we were trying to figure out how that was since we don't have a car, because I would have to do that for 10 days. That's about $200. So we got lucky last Wednesday because sort of lucky. There was a neighbor across the street was like, there was a big fight happening, and like the dude was throwing he was turning that fucking apartment upside down. He throws something in the middle of the road that was glass. So my neighbor up front comes out and we're talking to her about it, and like we're cleaning up the glass. Yes. Cops came and arrested the guy who was doing all that stuff. But my neighbor goes, "Hey, if you need help, like with errands or something like that, just let me know and we can work something out." So I went over there yesterday and I said, "So here's the situation." And I spelled it out. She was like, "Yeah, I can help you out. You said you got to go to work you want to leave at 7:45?" I was like, "Yeah, I want to leave at 7:45 to get there with a little bit of time to get ready and so it'll be like Tuesday and Thursday will be the only hours, but every other day it'll be 7:45." And she was like, We can work that out. We can get that done. So she's helping us out big time. Yeah. But other than that, nothing really substantial. However, I do have a story for you and our audience that I find immensely entertaining, and then we'll get to our reviews. Okay. So have you heard the whole Eminem saga? You've heard of most of the Eminem saga, right?
What do you mean?
Eminem saga? Well, let me start from scratch. You might have heard about it, but so Eminem's in an attempt to
M&M's. I thought you were talking about the rapper. So you're talking about the new purple Eminem character that some people are perceiving as a transgender representation of M&M's? Yeah.
No, that's not. It's not gender. It's supporting women. They basically any bag of M&M's that has that logo on it or that picture is an attempt to support women and women's issues. And they added a new purple peanut M&M that is it's just a new purple M&M because purple is the color that I guess associates with that.
Yeah, so I know there were some people that were thinking that it may have been associated with trans issues, is what I was saying, or trans representation.
No, it definitely wasn't. I can assure you that. However, so after doing this, nobody really batted an eye. No one really cared, except for the far right, as they do. And there's a guy named Nick Adams who, well, let me show you this.
I want to speak about M&M's. I want to speak about Mars, the company behind M&M's.
Oops.
Just released feminist M&M's. Yes, you heard me right. Feminist M&M's. Egregious sexism of the worst and most conceivable kind. It is outrageous, it is disgusting, and it must not stand. That is why I am calling for a complete and total boycott of all things Mars, and particularly M&M's. It will not stand. Let me say this loudly, let me say this clearly, let me say this unambiguously. Any male that buys a packet of M&M's from today forward must hand in their man card because they are a soft, quote, beta male feminist who has serious problems. Until M&M's rectify this grave wrong by giving us all male M&M's, this boycott will remain. We will not stand for this at all. M&M's.
Okay, so there's that. Now, okay,
Oh, he's from New Zealand.
Yeah, he lives in America now, so he's got his he's a full American. But okay, so that went public, that was pretty popular on Twitter, specifically Twitter, for a couple days.
I remember seeing it, yeah.
Then Tucker Carlson got a hold of it. Now this is fucking hilarious.
Well, for most of its history as a company, Mars Inc. was known for making candy, Milky Way, Skittles, Snickers, and most famously M&Ms, which they claim melted in your mouth but not in your hand. But over time, churning out delicious and highly lucrative calorie bombs was not enough for Mars. Its executives wanted to be Starbucks. Sure, our product is unhealthy, but we're woke, so please don't notice. So in its
this is also the guy that was angry. Yeah, there you go.
M&M characters as unattractive as possible, because when you're intentionally repulsive, it's clear you've got the right politics. So the green M&M lost her sexy boots, the brown M&M her stiletto heels. The orange M&M, meanwhile, became a poster boy for the mental health crisis.
He was jacking off to M&Ms, clearly.
Acknowledge and embrace his anxiety, because America badly needs more neurotic candy. Then late last year, Mars went further. The company added obese and distinctly frumpy lesbian M&Ms to promote, quote, feminism and body positivity.
None of that is true.
Have some more M&Ms. We reported on this at the time and pledged a deeper investigation into it. But before we could complete our investigation, Mars announced that it's suspending its ad campaign. A chocolate vendor promoting obesity was just too shameless even by modern standards. But at CNN, they were inundated by the news. News anchors...
I was just making shit up. Okay, so...
Well, for most of it...
Shut the fuck up. So, the reason I bring this up is because... This gets better, Mike. I promise you, it gets funnier. They put out this press release right here. You see it?
A message from M&M's, yes.
So they put out this. It says, America, let's talk. In the last year, we've made some changes to our beloved spokes. We aren't sure if anyone would even notice. And we definitely didn't think it would break the internet. But now we get it. Even a candy shoes can be polarizing, which was the last thing M&M's wanted, since we're all about bringing people together. Therefore, we've decided to take an infinite pause from the spokes candies. In their place, we are proud to announce or introduce a spokesperson America can agree on, the beloved Maya Rudolph. A little bit of a whiplash there, but okay. We are confident Miss Rudolph will champion the power of fun to create a world where everyone feels where they belong. So, everyone was kind of like, that's fucking stupid. Like, that was unnecessary because a couple fucking right-wing lunatics were angry that you wanted to support women. Now, the fucking Nick video is hilarious. The Tucker Carlson one, it's not as funny. The jokes around it are funnier, like that he definitely was getting off to M&M's. Or the female M&M's, I should say. In an attempt to make fun of M&M's, A&W put out a press release that looks exactly like the M&M one, as you can see here.
Oh, okay.
And it says, America, let's talk. Since 1963, Rudy, the great root bear, has been our beloved spokesbear. We know people would know. We knew people would notice because really a 6-foot-tall bear wearing an orange sweater. But now we get it. Even a mascot's lack of pants can be polarizing. Therefore, we have decided that Rudy will wear jeans going forward. Not to worry, though, he will remain our official spokesbear. After all, he is unbearably cute and impossible to replace. We are confident Rudy will continue to champion good food and good times for many years to come. Now in denim. Blatant satire, right? Blatant fucking satire. Here's the problem. Somebody didn't get it. Specifically Fox News.
Of course they didn't. Dude, there's a trans satire parody account on Twitter. The other day, they put out a tweet saying Aretha Franklin's Natural Woman is offensive to trans people, just joking around. And of course, all the fucking right-wing fucking news media ran with it without even reaching out to anybody. They just ran a fucking story on it. And it was ridiculous. But I remember when Tucker Carlson was throwing a fit about the sexy green M&M not being sexy anymore. And did you remember what I tweeted at him?
No, I remember you tweeted at him, but I don't remember what you said.
I'm scrolling my Twitter right now to find it. I'm having to go back like over almost a year.
Yeah, it was last year. He had a fucking conniption fit over it.
Yeah,
I just couldn't believe that. I read that this morning, and somebody in the comments of A&W's post was like, somebody at Fox didn't get it. Their response was just to do like a meme of like, ooh.
Okay. I said, hey, Tucker Carlson, here you go, you creepy bastard.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And it's the green M&M
right.
with her shell taken off. And then I tweeted this at him too. I jack off to these two, and it's nerds. And I was like, have you no shame? Because fuck
so fucking
Tucker Carlson. I fucking hate him.
No, yeah, he's
the worst.
But yeah, that story had me laughing this morning. So I was like, I got to share that on the fucking podcast. It's so good. All right. Well, let's get to taking your time without talking about what we want to talk about. So what we're going to talk about today is episode 2 of The Last of Us and the first 3 episodes of season 2 of The Legend of Vox Machina, which we'll start with that. So Maya, if you wouldn't mind giving a synopsis of the first 3 episodes.
All right. Well, I don't have like a short summary. I'll do the best I can here, but it picks up where season 1 left off. If you recall, season 1 ended on a cliffhanger where Vox Machina was being recognized by the sovereign King Uriel of Taldori. And all of a sudden, dragons started descending upon the city. And that's how the season ended. This picks right up where that left off, with the king saying he's stepping down, that he's turning rule over to the council. Vox Machina were heroes, and then all of a sudden these dragons come in, and it's 4 giant ancient dragons. A black dragon, a white dragon, a green dragon, and a red dragon. And the red dragon is the HDIC, head dragon in charge. His name's Thordak. These dragons just decimate the entire city. They kill most of the population in a matter of just a few minutes. Yes. Thordak, by the way, did you notice his voice actor?
Lance Reddick.
Also known as Silence from the wonderful Horizon series. I was like, made me happy.
I think it's fucking awesome. Yeah. Love Lance.
So, yeah, I do too. So, Vox Machina, they escape via a portal and go back to Whitestone. They appeal to Whitestone for help, and they're like, you need to go to Vasselheim. So Vasselheim is the strongest city in the land. It's stood for millennia. So they teleport to Vasselheim. They plea their case to the council who's in charge, and they're like, sorry, but your problems are your own. We're not helping. We're not getting involved. If they come here, and we doubt they will because we're so isolated, we'll be fine. So they're looking for alternate routes. So they, when they're leaving, one of the council members says, hey, look into the Slayer's take. They can help you. Their patron can help you. they go to the Slayer's take, and it turns out that Vex and Vax, is that their names? Vex and Vax? Vexalia and Vexalia? I can't remember if it's
Vaxeldan.
Vaxeldan. Yeah, that's the one I always get. I know it's Vex and Vax, but I can't remember. It's Vexalia and Vaxeldan.
I have to say their full name in my head.
Yeah. They're wanted by the Slayer's take, and there's apparently a bounty of 12,000 gold out on them. And so they walk in, and they're like, hey, we're old friends with these people, and their old friends were not happy to see them. But yeah, they are sentenced to face the patron, or they're summoned to face the patron. They drop them into a pit. They go and they talk to the patron, who turns out to be a sphinx. She's like, okay, there are 6 things that you need to collect. What was it they called them? A vestige. There are 6. The vestiges of divergence. You need to collect the weapons known as the vestiges of divergence. Now, in the meantime, Grog has been separated from them. And getting his ass kicked by an old man in a temple, like a warrior monk. But at the end of the episode, they're all reunited, and they go out to seek the first of the vestiges in what is called the Sunken Tomb. And 2 of the members of the Slayer's take, which were named Zara and Kashaw, or Cash for short. Zara is the old friend of Vex, and is more like friend as in like I fucking hate you and hope you're dead kind of friend. You just got some news, didn't you? Anyway, they're working with Vox Machina to go into...
It has to do with what we're talking about.
With Vox Machina?
Sort of.
All right, let me...
It's a fucking thing.
All right, Greg's showing me something
find it
on
elsewhere.
screen.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead and finish.
So, with the help of Zara and Cash, Vox Machina find this underwater tomb, and Zara and Keyleth manipulate the water and the wind to make a path to the tomb. They all enter. During traversing this tomb, trying to locate the vestige, they are separated when a trap is triggered. Part of the party, including, I believe it's Percy. Well, part of the team split up. Vax is separated from Vex. Zara is with Vex, and Cash is with Vax. So, their respective, the twins are separated. You see, your expression's killing me, but I'm trying to get through this.
I'm waiting for you to finish so I can tell you the news.
Okay. What they think is the vestige. And at this point, Cash and Zara have slipped off on a different path. Vax is exploring a panel, a chamber beneath the floor, and Percy accidentally triggers a trap, setting off a trap that kills Vex. And that's where the episode ends, with Vax cradling her lifeless body in tears, which was pretty emotional because that episode had a lot of flashbacks to their youth and how they were horribly treated by their father because of their half-elven heritage, and how he expressed to her she doesn't need him, but he needs her. He knows she's capable, but he can't do without her. Very wonderful storytelling. But yeah, These 3 episodes were amazing. But okay, I got to know, what's the breaking news here?
Hold on, let me turn it up.
I'm asking you to open your heart to chaos.
I've got long Mary Rain. I want to unlock these mysteries. I want to dive as deep as I can into that ocean of the unknown. I am of the Empire, but I am no friend to the Empire.
I protect him. He's my boy.
God,
You need me more than I need you.
their second campaign is getting an animated series. It was greenlit.
Oh, okay.
That's the script right there.
Okay.
The Mighty Nine.
The Mighty Nine?
The Mighty Nine.
Oh, okay.
Oh, look at him.
that's
Look at
that's-
him.
Mighty Nine, all new original series coming to Prime Video.
that's pretty fucking awesome.
Oh,
Fucking
my
congratulations, Critical Role. I'm
God. No
for
shit,
it.
dude.
I'm for it. Not to be confused with the title Mighty Number 9, the
Awful video game.
awful video game that was supposed to be the successor in spirit to Mega Man, and that was a huge letdown. But yeah, that's awesome news.
That's why I
didn't
was
know
like trying to
exactly.
not talk over you. I was like, sometimes I forget I'm on camera. So I've listed out 40 episodes of the Mighty Nine, and then they also have like an animated recap sort of thing for the entire story to the Mighty Nine, which I've watched. So I know the story, but certain extent of the Mighty Nine, and it's a fucking fantastic little story. So I'm super happy that they're getting that. And then like, we just, season 2 starting off Vox Machina, it's so much fun. It's so much fucking fun.
It is.
With these 3 episodes, what I really like about it is it's a continuing story, right? But each episode feels like it's its own quest that you experience in Dungeons and Dragons. It starts off with the catalyst for the season, right? You have the Chroma
Conclave, yeah.
You have, you get to actually see how powerful ancient dragons are. Sorry for the water pour. I just don't have any in my cup and I need water. And then by episode 2, you don't need to know that. It's under the desk. My mic's just really strong. The episode 2 was like, you need to go to Vesselheim, right? That's your first quest. Mm-hmm. And it was really cool because you get some lore, you get some background based on the characters. Like, Vex and Vax are like, oh, this is kind of shitty, because they know what's coming, but the audience doesn't, and the other characters don't either. You got a really cool moment of interaction between the characters where one of them said, I'm going to talk to this group of people. And then you had another character going, well, I'm holy, so I'm going to talk to them. We've literally had that conversation in D&D.
Yeah. Because Percy, he was like, I'm the diplomat. Let me deal with them. And Pack's like, these are holy people. I'm the holy person. I'm going to deal with them. And of course, neither one could get anything that they desired because the council's dead set on not getting involved. But yeah, we've had those moments in our sessions, like when it comes down to players. It's like, here's a situation, I'm going to handle it, and then others stepping up and saying, well, wouldn't I be better suited for this? Let me do it. And those are cool little moments of role play. So yeah,
and I love that the show kind of does that. it's still a story. It's still a progressed story. But if you know D&D, if you know how TTRPGs work, they show little bits of like how fun it is to play D&D and how the characters can interact with one another, but it flows well through the animated series.
Yes.
It's just clever how they wrote it. Because I imagine that scene with the Sphinx, it was Matt sitting at the front of the table and then focusing on each player one at a time.
Yeah.
And
Which probably
that's
took
such
a few
cool
minutes.
thing to. Yeah. Oh yeah. Longer. It probably took way longer than the show did, but that's it's a fucking
absolutely.
22-minute show. But then at the end of episode 2, we have a direction, and then episode 3 has a whole problem involved, and when they get through that problem, via problem solving and talking to one another and going like, I can do this and I can do that, fucking rad. They get inside the place, and then there's a whole combat scenario. And in my mind, I'm going like, yeah, like that's how that I can see it in my mind how it would have played out on a table, because that's how the show is written. But it's so expertly written that my dad can watch it, having never played a fucking TTRPG, barely understands D&D from what I've explained to him. He can watch the show and just enjoy it.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of it.
Like, yep.
And that's what we're telling Wizards of the Coast. D&D is for everyone. D&D is the people. It's not a fucking corporation. Not at all. Sorry. Critical Role pretty much said that in a nutshell. Just they couldn't come out and say it. They said they stand, they support creators in the community. And not so many of those exact words or anything, but yeah. Fucking, I love these 3 episodes. Last week I rewatched the first season, just so, because it had been right at a year since we watched the last time, the first season the last time, and I hadn't rewatched it since. And I rewatched it last week, just so everything would be fresh in my mind. I like to do that if time allows, and of course, 6 20-minute episodes. Time allows, for me anyway. But yeah, these first 3 episodes, fucking excellent. Excellent. And when I say they're fucking excellent, I mean they get an A+ across the fucking board. The music, the dialogue is fucking genius. It's witty, it's fucking clever, it's it's dark when it needs to be. It's lighthearted when it needs to be. The fact that Grog found a belt, didn't know what it had no clue what function it served, puts it on, and he instantly grows a beard on his face. So fucking funny. Hilarious. So and one of my campaigns one time we were playing with, one of the items that a player of mine picked up, and this was back in like 2003 or 4, they picked up a belt of gender swap, and it couldn't be removed until remove curse was placed on the item. So it's like they immediately transformed into the opposite gender. They were not happy about that. But it's like these are the things that happen. You got to roll with it.
Well, that's one of the things that Matt said in an interview, talking about Grog's character. He's like, Grog is dumb. He's a little dumb. He's a little slow. He doesn't pick up on things. He doesn't understand things, and he definitely doesn't use magic. So giving him a giant magical evil sword, let's see how this plays out. He goes, some DMs would say you can't use that sword, but Matt's like, I'm going to figure out a way to make it work because it's going to be interesting to tell the story around that, and it'll be hilarious. And they've kind of shown that with they've shown that in this episode a few times. but he doesn't understand it, because he's kind
He
of an
thinks
idiot.
it's his stomach talking to him. He's
Yeah.
like hunger. The sword's like whispering hunger to him. He's like, "You're right, Tommy. I could eat a sandwich."
I am hungry. It's an A plus and fun. I don't know if anyone enjoy watch show. Like
Yeah, everybody.
I can't wait for Friday. Like it's gonna be fun.
Yeah. Now, are they releasing them on? I wonder if they'll release them at like 9 p.m. on Thursday night, like they did last year.
So it'll be 6 p.m. for me. But Amazon functions where they say midnight, but what it actually is I mean, HBO Max does this shit too, because I'm able to watch Last of Us on Sundays at 6 p.m. So
That's awesome.
yeah, so but yeah, I don't know what you're doing with your life. You're not watching fucking Legend of Vox Machina. Like, I don't expect everybody to go watch the fucking podcast or the stream / podcast. Jesus Christ, that's a fucking commitment. But this show is so fucking incredible. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on to The Last of Us, episode 2.
Yeah. Speaking of The Last of Us, this episode opened up in Jakarta, and it was dated 2 days before the actual global outbreak of the cordyceps virus. And we see a mycologist having lunch. The military comes in, escorts her to a facility. They take her to a lab. They show her somebody who has been infected with cordyceps. She asks to be taken home and to be with her family. And they said, "Why? How do we stop this?" She's like, "There is no stopping. Bomb. Drop a bomb. It's the only way you can hope to try to contain it." Fast forward to present day, and you see Ellie and Joel and Tess, and they're traversing through the ruins of Boston, which are heavily overgrown by wildlife, plant life, natural plant life, non-fungal and fungal. We see some interesting things develop. One of the things in the game was the way the virus is transmitted. And we mentioned that last week, spores in the air. Well, for the show, there are no spores because the showrunners didn't want the actors to have to wear gas masks throughout half of the scenes.
So fun fact about that, real quick. They came out with a couple things on the HBO Max YouTube channel, and one of the things is that Craig Mason talked to. You say Mason? It should be Matson.
I thought it was Mason. Anyway,
he talked to Neil, fucking Druckmann. Jesus Christ, I remember his name. Talked to Neil about how the cordyceps would actually mutate to then infect people, and he says spores don't make sense. They don't make sense scientifically. With this,
you froze up on
for a
me.
second. He said there would be no survivors because spores are everywhere, and that when it comes to the cordyceps virus in the wild, the way the spores work in that is that they land on the food that the ants or the spiders eat, specifically ants. And that's how that happens. He says, however, there are instances where a spider will catch a bug that is infected with the cordyceps virus, and that's how the spider catches it. So this led Craig to be like, what if we just make it transmissible by the mitocilia, which is what comes out of that zombie's mouth at the very beginning, that she pulls it out of the mouth. It was in the grandma's mouth, yada yada.
Yeah.
So spores are not a thing because that's more scientifically accurate.
Yeah.
Not
yeah.
just because wearing gas masks, but
Well, they also confirmed that the source of the fungal infection that started it all was in flour.
yes, which is hinted at in the game. Newspaper clippings you can, where it's like crops were infected by like something blah blah blah.
Yeah, they said it was like wheat crops or something like that from South America in the game. But in this, they actually said it was flour in Jakarta, because Jakarta is one of the largest cities in the world. And flour makes the perfect substrate for fungus to grow in. So, yeah, I mean, I love the level of commitment to how scientifically possible and accurate it would be. One of the things that I really love that they did was how, with live, non-dried out cordyceps formations in the wild, how Tess mentioned to Ellie that stepping on one would summon the stalkers and clickers. It would summon the infected, because the network where they grow underground, they can travel for up to a mile to 2 miles, 1 to 2 miles in radius in any direction. And we see that happen. We see them step on a patch of cordyceps, and we see the transmission essentially, like it's letting the infected know food, fresh food, come and get it. And it's really cool how we see that happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, this episode, there's, it's a lot of Tess coming to believe that Ellie is the cure, and Tess telling her things that she's going to need to know. Ellie is going to need to know about how to survive out in the open, in the wild, because she spent her entire life in a quarantine zone.
Mm-hmm.
And Joel, very standoffish and still willing to shoot her. But yeah, we see that ending, which if you've played the game, you know how it plays out when they are separated and Joel and Ellie continue the journey without Tess. It's almost scene for scene, word for word. There's some just great. I think IGN put out a video yesterday or the day before showing the comparisons to the game and the show. Did you see it?
Not yet, no.
Oh, it's.
But I already know the differences. Like,
Yeah, but I'm not talking about the differences. I'm talking about what's exactly the same. It's just the way it plays out and everything.
So people on TikTok have done it. So I did.
Okay.
I have seen those. Yeah, I have seen those. Like the fucking dialogue when they enter the capital is almost identical.
Yeah, it even almost syncs up to the millisecond almost. That's what I'm talking about. So, yeah, the scene where Tess makes her monologue and everything before Joel and Ellie leave, that was pretty fucking intense. And and the difference in the game and the show, in the game it's federal officers that show up, and in the show they used the horde of infected to signify how hazardous the environment is, and you don't want to step on fresh cordyceps, and that's why. But this episode, there's not much to say about it without giving too much more away, and I don't want to spoil anything. I've given away quite a bit as it is. We do see our first close-up of clickers, and they were fascinatingly, gloriously gross and awesome and scary.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, loved them.
Beautiful in the grotesqueness for sure. Well, you know what's funny is like I they're hitting all the beats of the story properly. And
Yes, they are.
Next week we get Bill.
Yep. I'm looking forward to that.
I'll say this much. So the trailer kind of, the 1 minute trailer they came out with kind of shows it. And I think this is fascinating. So if you've played the game and you meet up with Bill talks about a guy that was with him. Without giving too much away about Bill, because I don't want to do that. But there was a guy that worked with Bill, that lived with Bill, named Frank. When you see Frank in the game, he's dead. He's been dead for a while. Like he's basically just, he's just shoes on the screen. We're going to get quite a bit of time with Frank in the show.
Yeah, I know. And one of the things that Bill says when he sees him, he's upset and cuts him loose. As he's cutting him loose, Joel says, "Who was he?" And he's like, Bill says, "He was my partner." Now,
yes,
take it on face value, you just think it's a guy he worked with, but no, it's not.
No, it's way deeper than that. I don't know if the show's going to do that, but I hope it does.
I'm pretty sure it does, because in the trailer, I've seen a scene of Bill and Frank together, and it looks pretty.
Oh yeah,
pretty.
But you know, the show could take it a different route. Like
that's true.
Like I said, I don't want to go too much because I don't want to spoil anything for anybody that's watching the show. But it's like I watched this with my folks, and they have no idea about this. They have no idea how the story's going to look. And it is like killing me to not be able to talk to certain people about like Last of Us Part 2 because you haven't fucking played the game
through yet. Yeah. I know, and I need to.
On that shit, yo. Because I know you fucking love it. Anyway.
Oh, I know I will. Well, do you have anything
let's
else
go ahead
to say
and give a grade.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. What grade would you give it?
I was going to say it's just A+. It's a fucking A+. Like I can't think of anything bad to say about the show. The intense levels, like the entire clicker scene. Like I didn't know if the show was going to be scary, right? I had no idea if it was going to actually be scary. But my dad can't do horror thing. He can't watch horror shows. But he does this fun little thing where he won't shut the fuck up during it because he's so fucking nervous. He would not. He was just like every couple seconds like, oh, here come the clickers. I think this is where the clickers come in. How bad are the clickers? Oh, those clickers are ugly. And my mom and I are like, shut the fuck up. But I knew that he was fucking sucked into the show because he was doing that. And I'm like, well fucking done, guys. Like, so fucking well done. Because he talked to me later and he says, yeah, that scene was kind of scary, but it was more intense than scary. There were no actual jump scares except for the one time the clicker like jumped over the table. And or whatever the fuck it was. Doesn't matter. He goes, but it wasn't, it was sparking my anxiety anything else. And I'm like, that's good. That means you were sucked into the show. And he's like, oh no, it's fucking great. Like this relationship, this is his words. This relationship between Ellie and Joel it's so good already. He goes, I know that they're together through the whole show. I know they have to go from Boston to Seattle. Because that's what you told me. And I know that they're together through the whole thing. I didn't think Tess was gonna, her fate was gonna happen. And I'm like, yeah, I didn't tell you. I intentionally didn't fucking tell you. He goes, but like that scene where she's just a sassy fucking 14-year-old and he responds as a 55-year-old man, meeting a sassy 14-year-old for the first time. And it's hilarious. But it's also like, it's really like, he's like, it's really kind of cool to watch them grow into what they are. And like, Joel's past. He goes, are we going to see Ellie's past? Uh-huh. We sure as fuck are. How do I know? Because there's a shot in the fucking trailer. Mm-hmm. Also, I know that Ashley Johnson plays her mom. Which is fucking rad.
Yeah.
Because Ashley, if you don't know,
she was the one who
John
She was the one who voiced
but obviously-
Ellie in the original games.
Yep, in Ponanto. So he's super into it, even though it is a fucking horror franchise. That's how fucking well done the show is that my dad, who can't do horror, is in love with The Last of Us. And my mom, she just keeps going, I can't stop thinking about it. It's so good. It's so well done. Like, I can't wait to next. Like, you told me that they meet a character named Bill. I can't wait. I'm like, yeah, fucking cool. I'm so excited. Like, fucking. Also, the guy, I can't remember the actor's name, but the guy they got playing Bill, fucking well done.
It's Nick Offerman.
It's Nick Offerman. My brain just could not find his fucking name.
In the game, he was voiced and mocapped by W. Earl Brown from Deadwood. He played not Johnny, but Dan Doherty in Deadwood. I was like, man, I wish they could have kept him, but I'm not sad about Nick Offerman at all.
No, it's
like the only character that stayed the same voice actor and mocap actor from the game to the show is the actor that plays Marlene, the leader of the
Really, it's
Fireflies
the same
in Boston.
actress.
Same actress that did
Hold
the
on,
voice and
what?
mocap for her. Yes.
What? I gotta. What?
Yep.
So I didn't.
But yeah, while you're looking that up, I also echo that this is an A+. It's
Merle Dandridge.
Merle Dandridge, yeah. But yeah, this show's fucking excellent. It's a beautiful adaptation of the game to screen, which is, now it's enjoyed another medium of storytelling, and it's being just as well received as the fucking video game was, which is pretty fucking well received. This is, and I'm not seeing a whole hell of a lot of video game adaptations in my day, but this is hands down the best so far. And we're only 2 episodes in. We got 9 more to go, and who knows what's to come after that, but I'm sure there will be more. Yeah, it's fucking great. Check it out.
They've said it. If you guys hear us like talking over, making say like or whatever, it's through StreamYard. It's just not functioning like it should. Anyway. They said that, or Greg Mattson said it's Mazin. There's no T. I thought there was a T.
Yeah.
He said that season 1 will end where the game ends.
That's what I was expecting.
So,
I just know that episode 8 is going to be the DLC.
Well, there's a style delay.
Shoo! I hope we don't have to re-record
Yes.
I don't know what's up with StreamYard lately.
I don't think so.
But yeah, well, let's wrap it up.
Can get it. Let's go ahead and wrap it up. Because I think it's fine for the most part. So next week, guys, we're going to be watching, obviously, Last of Us Episode 3, Vox Machina, Episode 4, 5, and 6 of Season 2. That's it, because goddamn, it's been fun, and it's just going to be us fucking circle jerking these shows for the next week. Guys, make sure you follow us on all socials, which will try to keep you updated if we add it. Hey, who knows? So hard to keep you updated, but our skin, we're busy and I forget. But yeah, go and follow those anyway. That's also where you can see if the episode's live or whatever. Check out the Teespring store. Want to support the podcast? That's the best way to do it, while also having a cool piece of merch. And if you do purchase something, let us know. Let us know on social media, on any of the sites, and we'll give you a shout out. if you want to watch today's live video of the broadcast, where you can actually see Maya's face for the first time in like 2 months, I think.
Well, more than just
go
my
over to our
face,
YouTube.
I mean.
That link is also down below. But that's it for my. Where can folks find you?
You can find me on Facebook under my name, Maya Dawn Fisher. It's a public profile. My Twitter and Instagram handles are linked to it, so it's your one-stop shop to follow me to see everything that I'm up to. And that's it for me. What about you, Greg? Where can people find you?
You can follow me on all social medias under Chub Rock Geek. You can also, that's it. That's all I got. I don't have anything else. But yeah, so we're going to wrap it up. There's a 6-second delay, by the way. I counted that shit. It's weird.
It's fucking weird.
So if this sounds a little odd, you all know why. But that's okay. Guys, thanks for listening. Always remember, fuck the GOP, fuck the NRA. Donate and help while you can, and we'll see you next week.
Take care, everybody.